Hello again, Steve here with a few thoughts on what I'm going to call changing our past. Now, this seems a bit far-fetched, doesn't it? We think in terms of the present, the future, the past, right? Or whatever direction you want to go in. Up or down, whatever. The timeline. And it makes sense that, we have this moment, and there's the future, but really the future is just a figment of our imagination. In the present, we're always in the present, right? And the past is our memories and the experiences we had and so on. And a lot can be said for the empirical fact that we can't go back into the past. We're only in this moment, and even if we could, we're just imagining it, right? But actually, we can do something about our pasts, I think, in a very practical sense, which is that if we look at the moment right now, this moment, once we're in tomorrow, is the past, right? So in that respect, we can change our past. Because I've talked about it before, about how we are, our being, as far as our inputs are concerned, and other inputs, whatever the inputs to our life are, they are like we are today is a compilation of all those experiences that happened in the past. And all those inputs, our biology, our environments, our thoughts, our associations, and so on, all built up into this package. A lot of it is crammed down into our subconscious, right? And into our makeup, our psychology, and what have you. So, but a lot of that, and who knows what the measure is, but a lot of that is inputs that either we choose as well, right? So if that's true, then if it's like a basket of experiences, then tomorrow is a reflection of what's happening today too, and this evening and so on, right? I mean, little bits of it. So if we decide to change our inputs, decide to change what we read, decide to change who we associate with and our actions and so on, then we add a slightly different flavor to that input. So I liken it to a jug of water, right? That's foul or whatever. If we continue to pour in new water, fresh water, then yes, there's contamination in there, but in time it'll pretty much become cleaned out. But it takes some time, doesn't it? I mean, here we are, 50 years, say, or 25 years, or whatever, how old you are, of experiences in the past. And if they were adverse, then, if many of them were anyway, it would take a while, even if you were to get right on track with, positive behaviors and so on, take a while to clean that out. And the scars would probably remain. I was just having a chat with somebody recently about how, things can come up, like anger can come up and so on in the cleansing process. And yes, these things are, they don't have to stop us. We can still add on in spite of our feelings today. In spite of the feeling of that jug of experiences, we still have this what do you call it, agency of choice, this freedom of choice to direct our attitudes, to direct our thoughts, to direct our actions to that extent, right? So, and one of the ways that I think we can really do this is through actions, right? Because actions involve more of us, right? I mean, there's the old saying, if you really want to know something or learn something and read about it or whatever, right? And if you want to take it a step level, do it. And if you really want to take it another level is to teach somebody by example how to do it. Because the more of ourselves we involve in our actions, and it's important, of course, that we for the most part at least love what we do or see the value in what we're doing, and that then would allow us to love it in some way. But when we act, we add more of ourselves to that. Like there's the aspects of ourselves. You see the mental aspect of ourselves, the physical aspect of ourselves, emotional aspect of ourselves, and so on. And we can see, for example, if we decide to take an action, that we're going to involve our mentality, because we got to go through mental processes to make decisions on how to best do what we're doing. And then we have to involve our bodies, which give us that kinesthetic memory and experience of it. And then when we accomplish and we achieve and so on, we get to have good, positive reinforcing feelings about having had that achievement. And that all adds to a wonderful mix, a wonderful recipe for changing our past. When we get into the so-called future, we then have a new past to that extent. It's not just the same old humdrum going along. We've taken it up a notch or whatever. We've changed things up in such a way that we can add a new flavor, right? It's no longer just the same old cake again. It's a cake with now a different icing on it or whatever. And in time, we can really dilute the older experiences. Like I say, they're still there, and those scars can remain, but we add to it. And I think we can really empower ourselves. And I think this is fundamental to personal growth or individual growth, self-knowledge, and so on. The whole process of becoming aware of these sorts of things and the importance of the decisions that we make in our lives going forward. So this is why I'm so jazzed about helping people and encouraging people to get active in what it is that is meaningful, and especially get active in areas of their life that are challenging. Because when we engage in areas that are really challenging, where there's fears, where there's challenges, where there's anxiety triggers that come up and so on, and we're able to act in spite of that, we can then blow the doors open in our lives to other areas where we can then act and build and keep on adding these new experiences into this pot, and we really become empowered and more confident individuals. So yes, I would say that we really can affect our past in a meaningful way, and that past is constantly being created. Our past is constantly being created, because this moment becomes the past the minute we are into the next moment. And therefore we can change our past, because the past is ever being created. So I guess we can think about that in terms of the power that we have to make a difference in our lives, because our pasts are really what we are. When we create new ones, we become like new versions of ourselves, more empowered versions of ourselves. Steve here again, great chatting. Hope this is helpful. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.